Hey, my name is Vonix and this is my gaming setup. I hope you enjoy. By the way, everything you see in this video will be linked down below, and if you have any further questions, please let me know in the comments and I'll try my best to answer them. Let's begin. I'm going to start off with the small things, then move on to the actual setup. So I actually moved into this room quite recently and I wanted to hang up some acoustic foam, but I wanted to do something a little different. So I decided to make these two diagonal lines, which I'm actually really happy with. The foam also helps with the echo a little bit, which is nice. Next to my acoustic foam, I have my nano leaf panels, which don't really do much besides adding flair to the room, but I love them, and they also create a cool background for when I stream and record videos at my desk. And over to the left of my acoustic foam, I have this poster, which is actually a metal plate. It's supported by a magnet on the wall, and I really do like it a lot. I love the vaporwave design, it perfectly fits with the room aesthetic. And right below the poster, I have an Among Us neon sign, which a really good friend of mine gave to me for Christmas, which I really liked. Also, something new which I just installed are these wooden shelves so I can hang up some decorations. Over on this shelf, I have a Pokemon card and a Pokemon ball, and over on this shelf, I have some more items that just add some personality to the room. They're also a great way to support my hue lights. I've got one hue bloom on this one hue go on this one, and another hue bloom on my nightstand. I've also got this hue LED strip which goes around my desk. Oh, and I also hung my skateboard to the wall, which looks great. Last thing on my wall is this whiteboard. I've been trying this new productivity technique where at the beginning of my day, I write 3 simple tasks that I want to get done throughout the day, and it's actually been working really well. Moving on to the actual setup, I'm going to start off with my monitor. My main monitor is this Alienware AW2518H. It's 240 Hz, 1 millisecond response time, and I have never had any issues with this monitor. It's great, very expensive, but great nevertheless. My two side monitors are just basic Dell monitors. The left one is a Dell S2421HS. Who the hell names these monitors? This one is 75 Hz, and the right one is a Dell 2415H 60 Hz. I used to have 2 of these, but the left one broke, so I had to buy a new one. And if you're wondering why one of them is flipped, it's so that my head doesn't have to rotate 180 degrees just to look at my monitors. And the monitors are actually mounted on my wall. It was a recent project of mine that I actually made a video on, and I will say that it was 100% worth it. In my opinion, it looks so much cleaner and you get so much more desk space. The only negative is the pain of installing the mount. By the way, if you are curious, I use an application from Steam called Wallpaper Engine to make my wallpaper move. It's really cheap and I guarantee you it will make your setup stand out more. I'll leave a link to my specific wallpaper in the description. Moving on to my peripherals, my mouse is a customized Final Mouse Ultralight 2. It's got the cord from my broken Air 58, it's got a different scroll wheel, and obviously it's spray painted. It's not the best spray painting job in the world, but I like how it looks, and it also has Hyperglide skates on the bottom. My keyboard is a Ducky 1-2 Mini with brown switches and cotton candy keycaps, as well as a custom coiled cable I bought on Etsy from some dude in Oklahoma. I know it's a little generic, but I'm really happy with my keyboard setup. It fits perfectly with the whole blue, purple, and pink aesthetic. And the keyboard itself is nothing but exceptional. And the mousepad was bought from the mousepad company. I believe it's called Liquid Strata. I've got no complaints, it looks nice, and the texture itself is also very high quality. And next to my keyboard and mouse, I've got an Elgato Stream Deck. All these buttons do something when I'm streaming. Some of these change the scene, some will play music, and I can even turn my lights on and off with this little thing. It's insanely useful, especially if you stream. Moving on to audio, I've got a Shure SM7B microphone. One of the literal best microphones on the planet. It's ridiculously expensive though, but at least the sound quality is also ridiculously high quality. I'm glad I bought it, but I would not recommend it to anybody unless you're insanely picky with your audio. The microphone is connected to a Rode PSA 1 arm. Nothing really much to say about this thing. it's awesome though. One thing I do have a lot to say about is this Go XLR Mini. I could talk about this thing for an entire video, but essentially it does two things. One, it connects to my microphone, allowing me to adjust noise compression, equalization, and add a noise gate. Two, it splits your PC's inputs and outputs into multiple inputs and outputs. So for example, if I'm streaming and want to just turn down my music, all I have to do is turn this down. Or let's say I want to lower my Discord, all I have to do is turn this down. You can also do a lot of other things with these buttons. It's a little complicated, but the product is great. Moving on to headphones, these are the Beyerdynamics DT990 Pros. These are my main headphones and they are the most comfortable things I have ever put on my head. The audio quality is also pretty good. It's nothing too crazy, but you won't be disappointed with these if you get them. Next to my Beyerdynamics, I have my backup headphones, which I pretty much only use if I'm traveling. They are the Audio-Technica's M50Xs. Moving on to some extra things I haven't talked about, beginning with my chair. I believe this DX Racer is the only thing that has survived since my original Epic 13-year-old setup video, which basically made my channel. The chair itself is fine, it's pretty comfortable, but it is starting to break down for sure, and I am looking into getting a new one. On my desk, I also have a wireless charger. This means that my phone is pretty much never out of battery, which is really nice. I would really recommend one of these. Next to the charger, I've got this little plant which I bought from IKEA. It looks nice and it sort of gives me that feeling of the outside world. This bullet journal is what I use to plan a lot of my videos. I also use it to keep track of my college assignments and things like that. It's an awesome productivity helper. I also know that a lot of you guys are going to ask about my desk, and my desk is actually a kitchen countertop from IKEA called Carbly. But obviously I'm not using it as a kitchen countertop. I just sort of screwed it on these desk legs, which are also from IKEA, and they are called Beckant. They actually move up and down, but I currently don't have that set up. Also, my cable management can be summarized with 3 products: cable concealers to conceal the cables, cable raceways to stuff all the cables in, and a lot of 3M tape to tape everything to the desk. It's not perfect, but in my opinion, it's good enough. Moving on to my lighting, I have these 2 Elgato key lights. They are my main source of lighting when recording. They are incredibly powerful. I believe they're currently at 10%, so just imagine what 100% looks like. Another Elgato product I have is this Elgato green screen. I don't really use it very much, but it's under my bed if I ever need a green screen. And 2 more Elgato products I own are the Camlink and the HD60S. The Camlink allows me to turn my camera into a webcam for my streams, and the HD60S allows me to record from my PlayStation and my Nintendo Switch. I've also got an SD card reader. Talking about PS4s and Nintendo Switches, over here in my drawer with my chest and books, I've got my Nintendo Switch and my PlayStation. I've also got my old Canon camera, my SCUF controller, and things like that. In my top drawer, I keep a lot of my personal stuff, such as my wallet, my watch, and things like that. Moving on to what powers the entire setup, my beautiful PC. I built this thing about 5 years ago, so it is starting to get a little outdated, but it still performs great. It can't handle insanely heavy games, but for the most part, I have no issues with this PC. I've got a GTX 1070 graphics card with an Intel Core i7. Everything else will be down below in the description if you're curious. Also, please don't ask about the side panel. Also, if you're curious, I film with a Sony a7 III with a 24mm G Master lens. Okay, that's it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's kind of cool to think about that because you guys are watching this video now, it's supporting me to make more of these. I mean, the only reason I'm able to have such a cool room is because of you guys watching all my previous videos. So if you've watched my videos in the past, or maybe this is your first video, it means so much. Check out all my social medias. I have a Twitch, a Twitter, a TikTok, and Instagram. Everything will be down below in case that sounds interesting to you. I hope you have an amazing day, and peace out.